Hi guys, Robert from the fountainofisrael.com. Before we get started, don't forget to smash the notification button because I don't want you to miss any upcoming lesson. Comment, rate, subscribe. Until next time, search the scriptures and prove all things. Cue the music. All praises to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and of Jacob. And peace to everyone joining us on this program. This is the Fountain of Israel's Bible Studies program. And as always, it's an honor for me to stand before you on the Lord's holy Sabbath day. Now, this is part 2 of our lesson, Prepare Now, but Store Your Treasures in Heaven. Prepare now, but store your treasures in heaven. And I want to go ahead and pick back up in one of the places where we left off. And that would be in Proverbs 16. I just want to start back in Proverbs 16 and then we'll jump into the scriptures where we were. So let's go back to Proverbs chapter 16. And when we get to Proverbs 16, go ahead and pick it up at verse 1 for me, please. Let's jump right into this lesson here. Go ahead.
The preparations of the heart in man, and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes. The Lord waiteth the spirits. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. The Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. Everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Though hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished.
Come on.
By mercy and truth iniquity is purged, and by the fear of the Lord men depart from evil. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues without right. A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps. A divine sentence is in the lips of the king. His mouth transgresseth not in judgment.
Come on.
A just weight and balance are the Lord's. All the ways of the bad are his work. It is an abomination to kings to commit wickedness. For the throne is established by righteousness.
Yes.
Righteous lips are the delight of kings, and they love him that speaketh right. The wrath of the king is as messengers of death, but a wise man will pacify it. And the light of the king's countenance is life, and his favor is as a cloud of the latter rain. How much better is it to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding rather to be chosen than silver. The highway of the upright is to depart from evil. He that keepeth his way preserveth his soul. Pride goeth before destruction.
Yes.
And haughty spirit before a fall.
Read on. Better
it is to be of an humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud.
Read on.
He that handleth a matter wisely shall find good, and whoso trusteth in the Lord, happy is he. The wise in heart shall be called prudent, and the sweetness of the lips is increasing learning. Understanding is a wellspring of life unto him that hath it, but the instruction of fools is folly. The heart of the wise teacheth his mouth, and addeth learning to his lips.
Yes.
Pleasant words are as an honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. He that laboureth for himself, for his mouth craveth it of him. An ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there is as a burning fire. A froward man soweth strife, and a whisperer separateth chief friends. A violent man enticeth his neighbor, and leadeth him into the way that is not good. He shutteth his eyes to devise froward things. Moving his lips he bringeth evil to pass.
Go ahead.
The hoary head is a crown of glory, if it be found in the way of the righteous. Okay, so an elder who is they're older, they have gray hair. The hoary head is a gray-headed person. So
that is wise, that's a blessing, it's glory of them if it is found in the way of righteousness, okay? And if they are wise, okay? People who are walking this thing out. 32.
He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty,
Mm-hmm.
and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city.
Okay, because a lot can be said about those who are actually slow to anger. We can all learn from that. I mean, I myself can learn from that, okay? Because if a lot of times when our emotions get the best of us, obviously that, you know, we lack the benefit of rational thought in the moment, and we'll make hasty and unwise decisions. So there's a lot of things here, these treasures. The Lord is trying to get us to at least take into account our behavior, our character, who we are. He's trying to have us rework our internal mechanisms. Okay, this is who we are, because those are the type of people that he's looking for to share the kingdom with. You and I must stay the course. We have to stay on the course. He's looking for a particular type of people. This is why he's always addressing our behavior, why he's always addressing our spirit, why he's always addressing our thoughts, because he's trying to mold and craft a particular type of people to share the kingdom with. And again, we allow the distractions of the world to knock us off course. And it's your job and my job to stay on course. Store up your treasures in heaven. So now we're going to go ahead and move forward. And let's go on over to Joshua chapter 1. Joshua chapter 1. And let's pick it up at verse 6. Joshua chapter 1, verse 6. Let's see what we have.
Be strong and of a good courage,
Mm-hmm.
for unto his people shalt thou divide for an inheritance of the land,
Mm-hmm.
which I swear unto their fathers to give them.
Mm-hmm.
Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded thee.
Mm-hmm.
Turn not from it to the right hand
Mm-hmm.
or to the left,
Mm-hmm.
that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest.
Okay, so wherever you go. So he said in verse 7, he said, only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou go. Okay, so he's giving instruction. Again, stay in the course. Okay? Stay in the course. The best laid plans can come to naught if you don't incorporate what God wants us to incorporate. So be careful with that. Verse 8.
This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth,
Mm-hmm.
but thou shalt meditate therein day and night,
Mm-hmm.
that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein.
Mm-hmm.
For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success.
Amen. Amen. Look at that. If we follow the Lord, we stay the course, then your plans will have success. That's all. Just stay the course. That's all we're talking about here. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous. The things that you do, make your way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. In verse 9.
Have not I commanded thee?
Mm-hmm.
Be strong and of a good courage,
Mm-hmm.
but be not afraid,
Mm-hmm.
neither be thou dismayed.
Mm-hmm.
For the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest.
And that's exactly what you want, brothers and sisters. You want the Lord to be with you no matter where you go. You'll have great success if you stay the course. Doesn't mean you won't have a setback here or there. Doesn't mean you won't have trouble here and there. Doesn't mean that. It just means that you will prosper and that you will have great success in what you are doing. That's what it means. It means you will have success. Doesn't mean you won't have a problem. Go to Deuteronomy. We just want one verse. Deuteronomy 29. Deuteronomy 29. Just one verse, because we want how can we get ahead? How can our plans have success? A good chance for them to succeed. Deuteronomy 29, read verse 9.
Keep therefore the words of this covenant and do them.
That what?
That ye may prosper in all that ye do.
Oh, look at that. Did we just get a biblical answer? We just got a biblical answer. We want to figure out how we can prosper in all that we do. Keep the covenant. Keep the covenant. This is how you have success here, and simultaneously lay up your treasures in heaven, because you already know where your true hope is. You're not worried about temporary gains right now. You're not putting all your eggs in this temporal, this corporal, this carnal world right now. You want something that will last. So that's where you're going to put your focus. So let's go ahead and continue. Go back to Proverbs. Go on back to Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 23. And when we get there, Proverbs 23, let's read verse 4.
Labor not to be rich, cease from thine own wisdom.
Go ahead.
Wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven.
Okay, so what did he say? He said, labor not to be rich, cease from thy own wisdom. So don't labor to be rich. Mean like that's your only goal. That's all you want to do. Now, it's okay to increase more and more to help out your progeny. I mean, we understand that, you know, a wise man is going to leave an inheritance for his children. We understand that. But guess what? If I'm doing that, if I'm trying to amass wealth, as it were, then I know I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it for my kids and my grandkids and so on and so forth, right? So it's not just for me. Why? Because I can't take it with me now, can I? So you have to have a long-range plan for what it is that you're trying to do. Something that's going to outlive you. Now, I know you might say, well, Brother Rob, you just said all this is good. I don't know when the Most High is coming back. I don't know when the Messiah is coming back. I don't know. Could be next year, 3 years from now, 10, 20 years from now. So that's how I have to think. I have to do something in the now, because all I have is the moment, with an eye towards the future, so that the seed that comes after me has a shot. But at the end of the day, I'm striving to enter in, and at the same time, I'm storing up my treasures in heaven. I know the Most High doesn't care about any of the material things that I do. I'm aware of that. So you can prepare now, but put your treasures in heaven. So let's look at that one more time in verse 4. It says, labor not to be rich, cease from thy own wisdom. Thinking we got it all figured out. We don't. Wilt thou set thy eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings, then fly away as an eagle towards heaven. Because it's temporary. It will go away. It will go away. Because where you're going next, you can't bring it with you. So let's go to Psalm 49. Psalm 49. Go back one book. Go to chapter 49. All right, so start at verse 6. Go ahead.
And they that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches.
Yes.
None of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to God and a ransom for him. Okay. You know what? Read that again. So I want people to really get that one, brother. Go ahead. Read 6 and 7 again. Go ahead. They that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches. None of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to God a ransom for him. I told you when the Messiah comes, he's not asking for your tax return. He's not going to ask you for that. Okay, he's not going to ask you for your PIN number and your ATM. That's not what he's looking for. So don't boast in the fact that you actually have some wealth, because it's going to all be for nothing. Drop down to verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Okay, go ahead. Nevertheless, man being in honor abideth not. He is like the beast that perish. He is like the beast that perish. Continue. This their way is their folly. Yet their posterity approve their sayings. Selah. Like sheep they are laid in the grave.
Mm-hmm.
Death shall feed on them.
Mm-hmm.
And the upright shall have dominion over them in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And their beauty shall consume in the grave from their dwelling.
Okay, now these are evildoers. That's going to happen to them. Those who trust in their wealth and the multitude of the riches. Okay, these are people who are not with God. He's saying basically, ultimately, what is going to happen to them by way of the psalmist. Okay, so I'm just going to back up a little bit. And he says in verse 11, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations they call their lands after their own names. Nevertheless, man being in honor abided not. He is like the beast that perish. He's going to die just like everything else. Okay, this their way is their folly. This is what they're doing. Yet their posterity approve their sayings. Like sheep, they are laid in the grave. Death shall feed on them, and the upright shall have dominion over them in the morning. So we know what's happening in the next life. Okay, and their beauty shall consume in the graves from their dwelling. Verse 15. Go ahead.
But God will redeem my soul from the power of the grave.
Yes.
For he shall receive me.
Yes. Go ahead.
Be not thou afraid when one is made rich,
Mm-hmm.
and when the glory of his house is increased.
Go ahead.
For when he dieth, he shall carry nothing away.
Mm-hmm.
His glory shall not descend after.
Okay, so you know the saying, you can't take it with you. You just read it, okay? Just like he said in 16, he said, be not afraid when one is made rich, when the glory of his house is increased. For when he dieth, he shall carry nothing away. His glory shall not descend after him, shall not go down in the grave after him. It will not follow him down. You know, they say, the U-Haul truck doesn't go to the funeral, go to the graveyard. They don't have any U-Haul trucks going to the graveyard. So this is what we're talking about over here. So let's go to 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy chapter 6. And pick it up at verse 6.
But godliness with contentment is great gain.
Go ahead.
For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out.
Mm-hmm.
And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare,
Mm-hmm.
into many foolish and hurtful lusts,
Mm-hmm.
which drown men in destruction and perdition.
Mm-hmm.
For the love of money is the root of all evil,
Mm-hmm.
which while some covet after,
Mm-hmm.
they have erred
from the
faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows.
Mm-hmm.
But thou, O man of God, flee these things and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, meekness.
Yes.
Fight the good fight of faith. Lay hold on eternal life.
Mm-hmm.
Whereunto thou art also called, and hast professed a good profession before many witnesses.
Before many witnesses. Okay, good enough. That's all we need right there. That's all we need right here. That's what we have to understand, so that we don't have to envy the wealth of the wicked. We don't have to envy that. See, I want to get your mind correctly. I want you to get in your spirit, okay? How should my outlook be in this world? I want you to consider that. I want you to think about that. That's what we're looking for. To get your mind right where it should be when you walk out in this life, when you are going about your business in this world. Understanding what you're doing, preparing yourself, preparing your house, preparing your mind. These are the type of things that we want to focus on. Okay, so he said over in verse 6, he said, but godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain that we can carry nothing out. We just read that verse. That you can't. All his wealth, his riches is not going with him. It will not descend with him. It's not going in the grave with him. Okay, so this totally lines up. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. Having food and clothes, be content. Are we content today? No, not really. Most of us, you know what makes us happy? More. That's what makes us happy. More, more, more. That's what makes us happy. Not content with anything. But they that will be rich fall into temptations and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. But thou, O man of God, flee these things and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, meekness. Fight the good fight of faith, lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called, and hast professed a good profession before many witnesses. Join me over in 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians chapter 4 in verse 16.
For which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day.
Yes.
For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us as a far more exceeding and internal weight of glory.
Yes.
While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal. But the things which are not seen are internal. Okay, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Again, this is where our mind should be. Again, this is where we should be focused, brothers and sisters. This is where we should be focusing ourselves right there. Once again, he said, for which cause we faint not. You don't give up. But through our outward, and though our outward man perish, this body will die. It decays. It's getting older. Making more sounds as we move around. Getting a little tougher. Yet the inward man is renewed day by day. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. What we're spending now will net us this immortal, incorruptible body later. This seed will grow for us. If we walk in righteousness, this seed will grow us a new immortal body, because that is one of the treasures we need to be storing up in heaven, because we know our Savior is coming from the heavens and bringing his reward with him to render to every man according as his works shall be. According to what we're going to do. What are we going to do with this opportunity? You're going to blow it? What are you going to do? You're going to get distracted? You're going to fall asleep at the wheel? That's what we're talking about here. Getting distracted where nothing matters. Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Okay, great. He wins. The enemy wins. Because you don't care. You don't take it seriously. You don't focus on what's important. He wins. Trying to prepare you. Trying to prepare your mind and keep you focused. Keep you on course, on track. Prepare and store up your treasures in heaven. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For these things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Let us continue. In the meantime, let's look at a couple things, because we have to be prepared. So let's look at a few things. Go to Isaiah chapter 28. Isaiah chapter 28. And we're going to pick it up at verse 24. Because we have some work to do. We gotta prep some things. We definitely have some work to do, brothers and sisters. So let's get it done. Okay, Isaiah 28. Pick it up at verse 24. What's that say? Doth the plowman plow all day to sow? Doth he open and break the clods of his ground? Okay, so doth the plowman plow all day to sow? Doth he open and break the clods of his ground? Continue. When he hath made plain the face thereof, doth he not cast abroad the fitches, and scatter the cumin, and cast in the principal wheat, and the appointed barley and the rye in their place. So he is going ahead and he is preparing. This particular person is preparing. Okay, I'm just plucking this out just to show that he is preparing. Okay, and he teaches us. So he's preparing, he's teaching us, and we're going forth on that. So I wanted to just point that out really quick. Now let's go to Luke chapter 14.
Luke chapter 14. And we're going to pick it up at verse 26. Because we got to prepare ourselves. We got to be ready, and we have to prepare ourselves. So Luke 14, pick it up at verse 26, and let the Bible speak.
If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. And whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? Lest haply, after he hath laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it began to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish.
See, so that's all he's talking about here. No. We want to go ahead and just take a look at that real quick. He said, are you ready? Because you start off this walk and everything. Okay, you start off this walk, you get going. I want to point out something that this may cost you something. This may cause you can't put anything ahead of what you want ultimately. You can't put anything ahead of that. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. Now, he doesn't mean hate as in really, really hate, because, you know, we have to love our neighbor as ourselves, okay? We understand that. We have to honor our mother and father. You can't do all that and then hate them at the same time. That's not what he's talking about. You can't put any of those things, including yourself, ahead of him if you want to follow him. In other words, it's going to cost you something. Count the cost. Count the cost. That's part of that stripping away. See, we've gone our own way a long time, and the clay has definitely hardened. So sometimes the Most High has to take a hammer and chisel to shape us. If we're not, he even says, you know, come like little children. Because children are a little more impressionable, a little more malleable, a little more flexible. Oh, but not us hard-headed adults. No. So he has to kind of beat us about the head, as it were. Because we are hard of learning. We're stiff-necked. Everything distracts us. Everything worries us. Just everything. To get you to move off your square, to move out of your spot. That's really all it's designed for, so you can miss the mark. That's what it's designed for, to trip you up. And if you fall, stay down is what the enemy wants. He wants you to stay down. But the scripture says, you know, you get up. So if you fall down 6 times, get up 7. So on and so forth. Did you count the cost? It's that simple. That dietary law, it's going to cost you some bacon. Period. It's going to cost you some catfish dinners. The Shabbat is going to cost you some Saturdays where, you know, you need to be resting and studying and spending time with your family and stuff like that, rather than, you know, working for money. You're going to have to quiet your mind and slow down. It's going to cost you something. You're going to have moments where, well, oh, wow, I can't do that. Oh, well, I can't do this. I need to do this. I mean, because it's not a list of just don'ts. It has some do's in there as well. It's going to cost you something. However, the payoff. That's how you store your treasures in heaven, brothers and sisters. Because you're focused on the payoff. Okay, why am I doing this? And then you think, oh, okay, cool. I got it. Okay, yeah, immortality. No more sickness, no more pain, no more death. Not the threat of hellfire. Communing with other brothers and sisters who are also righteous. To be in a kingdom where there's no such thing as someone in your house and stealing. Where there's no such thing as, I don't know, rent. There's no such thing as taxes. To be able to walk over to your Messiah and get a question answered. No such thing as deception and backstabbing. That doesn't mean anything to you at all. That means nothing to you. You count the cost. So this temporary inconvenience, because it makes you look a little, you know, because you grow your beard out and you look a little different and people might say something, or because you're a woman and you want to have your head covered and people think that, you know, you're a little bit different. It may cost you a little something. It might cost you a little bit. It may cost you some family. It may cost you some friends. But where's your focus? What is the prize? What is the purpose? That's the question. Are you holding on to your why you are doing what you're doing? Are you holding on to that? Because once you lose sight of that, it's really easy to knock you off course. Simple. Very simple to knock you off course. Verse 30, he's saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. You start changing, you say, hey, you know, I got to do this. I got to do Bible different than what I was doing it before and everything. And then you turn back the other way, and then people now they're looking at you. Oh, I thought you were messianic. What happened? Let us continue. Proverbs 6. Proverbs 6. Pick it up in verse 6. Let the Bible speak.
Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise.
So have you ever seen an ant? Have you ever seen what's going on with an ant? Go ahead.
Which having no guide, overseer,
or ruler. Go ahead.
Provideth her meat in the summer, and gathereth her food in the harvest.
She go about the ant stays the course. Have you ever seen a trail of ants doing their thing, and all of a sudden you kind of break that trail or whatever, and they scramble around a little bit, and then they start reorganizing and make another path, make another trail or whatever, because they just keep on going. See, things get in their way. Things get in their way, and then they're like, okay, they just kind of go around and whatever. They're a little confused at first. But then if you leave and you come back, all of a sudden they make a whole new path. They go on because they work. They just do it. The mission. Are you like that? The mission. He said, go to the ant, thou sluggard. Look at him is what he's saying. Consider her ways and be wise. Mean learn something from her. Learn something. Get something out of what you can witness with your own eyes, what the ant does, which having no guide, no overseer, or no ruler, provided her meat in the summer and gathered her food in the harvest. She just does it. Verse 9, what does that say?
How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come as one that traveleth, and want as an armed man, a naughty person, a wicked man, walketh in the froward mouth. He winketh with his eyes, he speaketh with his feet, he teacheth with his fingers. Frowardness is in his heart. He deviseth mischief continually. He soweth discord. Therefore shall his calamity come suddenly. Suddenly shall he be broken without remedy.
Sneaky Pete. Things just going. It doesn't go well. It just doesn't go well. It doesn't work. If you want to sit around, be a sluggard, you don't want to do anything. So, see, you got thrown off a little bit because in part 1 I was talking about don't chase after riches and don't do that. Don't chase after store up all this wealth and the rich bad things are gonna happen to them and all that. And you got kind of thrown off and now you think that you shouldn't prepare. Oh, contraire. You should prepare. You should do something. It's that you have a different goal. See, the wicked stores up their wealth, put their trust in their wealth, that everything's going to be all right and money fixes everything. But that's not how you feel. That's not how you think. You believe that money is simply a tool. A tool that doesn't rule you. A tool to say, you know what? I'm not necessarily trying to have the big, fattest bank account, but what I am trying to do is prepare myself and my family, get ourselves in position. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get our necessities met. I'm trying to, since I don't know how much time I have, I'm trying to go ahead and put together an inheritance for them, maybe some life insurance or something like that. Maybe buy some acres and acres of land and, plant some gardens and stuff like that and, return onto the old past. And I'm trying to do that so I can hand it down to them. See, you're just using it as a tool. Last time I checked, you can't hand down your apartment. I know some of us might like to hand down our credit card bill, but you can't do that either. You're supposed to hand down an inheritance. An inheritance. So you thought, oh, don't prepare anything, don't do anything, don't worry about it. No. That's not what this lesson is about. It's you're changing your focus. You're making a mental shift. That's what you're doing. You're making a mental shift to say, you know what? Maybe I need to think about money in a different way. Maybe you do. You're not doing it just to heap it upon yourself. You're not doing it to impress God or impress your friends or even impress your family. You're doing it, you're using it as a tool to get the essentials that you need for when money is no good anymore. Amen? Mm-hmm. That's what we're talking about. That's why you're using it. He said, go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, which having no guide, no overseer or ruler, provided her meat in the summer and gathered her food in the harvest. In verse 9, he said, how long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come as one that traveleth, and thy want as an armed man. So you need to get to work. You and I need to get to work. With that, let's go to Proverbs 22. Proverbs 22. Go to chapter 22. Okay. Proverbs 22, start at verse 1. Give me these first 3 verses right there, brother.
A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches,
Mm-hmm.
and loving favor rather than silver and gold.
Mm-hmm.
The rich and poor meet together. The Lord is the maker of them all.
Mm-hmm.
A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself,
Mm-hmm.
but the simple pass on.
That means he's getting prepared, okay? He hided himself and the simple pass on and what?
And are punished.
And are punished. So look what he said. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches. So you have a good character, a good reputation, a good name, you know, among your people. Hey, this is a good guy. This is a righteous brother. This is a good elder, you know, awesome pastor, awesome brother and sister, righteous, good. You can go to them for help, wisdom, whatever. A place to, you know, a place to lay your head, a plate of food, big heart, stuff like that. All that is more important than great riches. Loving favor rather than silver and gold, okay? The rich and the poor meet together. So we're going to all end up in the same place. Trust me. You don't get the chief seat in the kingdom just because you got a lot of money. Okay, a prudent man foresees the evil and hideth himself, meaning he prepares himself, he gets ready. But the simple pass on and are punished. So just like, you know, you ever see the horror movies and stuff, and you see a bunch of danger happens, and you see a bunch of people run one way, and then you see one idiot run towards the danger. Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's happening? What's that? What's over there? Well, I don't know. 50 people are running away from it, so whatever it is, it's bad. If people are running and screaming, something's bad probably happened. Is that, I mean, that's just common sense, right? Just a little wisdom. How about I get far, far, far away, and then I ask you, what was that? How about that? Just a little wisdom right there. So let's go to Proverbs 20. No. Let's finish where we are. No. Let's finish where we are. Go to verse 4. Read verse 4.
By humility and the fear of the Lord are riches and honor and life.
Yes, sir. Drop down to 16, sir.
He that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want.
Mm-hmm.
Bow down thine ear and hear the words of the wise.
Mm-hmm.
Apply thine heart unto my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
For it is a pleasant thing if thou keep them within thee.
I'm trying. Hey, we got to keep this wisdom. Go ahead.
They shall withal be fitted in thy lips.
Mm-hmm.
That thy trust may be in the Lord.
Go ahead.
I have made known to this day, even to thee.
Mm-hmm.
Have not I written to thee excellent things in counsels and knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
that I might make thee know the certainty of
The words of truth. Mm-hmm.
That thou mightest answer the words of the truth
Mm-hmm.
to them that send unto thee.
Go ahead.
Rob not the poor because he is poor.
Yep.
Neither oppress the afflicted in the gate.
Yes.
For the Lord will plead their cause and spoil the soul of those that spoil them.
Okay, so you really want to kick a poor man while he's down. You really want to do that. You really want to do that. Like those who, you know, someone and they're homeless or whatever, and they just kind of yell at them, go get a job, that kind of thing. You know what? If you're not going to help them, you could at least not insult them. You could at least just keep it pushing. I mean, yeah, we should help whenever we can, but I mean, if you're not going to help, why insult them? Why go that extra mile and insult them? They already got, you know, they're already down on their luck, right? But if you don't want to, okay, no problem. So it says, rob not the poor because he is poor, neither oppress the afflicted in the gate. For the Lord will plead their cause and spoil the soul of those that spoil them. You want some of that? You want to be on the receiving end of that? That's all I'm saying. Let's go ahead Let's continue reading. Let's continue reading. Okay, 23. He said, "For the Lord will plead their cause and spoil the soul of those who spoil them." Go ahead, 24.
Make no friendship with an angry man, and with a furious man that thou shalt not be.
Okay, an angry, violent, furious. Don't be friends with them. Don't be cool with them. But continue.
Lest thou learn his ways and get a snare to thy soul.
Because you're going to end up just like him. Birds of a feather flock together. Go ahead.
Be not thou one of them that strike hands, or of them that are sureties
of debt for debts.
If thou hast nothing to pay, why should he take away thy bed from under thee?
Okay, so why are you going to co-sign somebody else? You already know they're no good. You know they're not going to pay back, but now you're going to co-sign to ensure their debt and get your stuff taken away. That's not what the lesson's about, but it's learning something on the way to learning something. Go ahead.
Remove not the ancient landmark which thy fathers have set.
Go ahead.
Seest thou a man diligent to his business?
You see a man diligent in his business? What's going to happen if a man is diligent in his business? Go ahead.
He shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before mean men.
Go ahead. See, you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Diligent in his business. Handle your business. Brothers and sisters, I'm talking to the brothers. Handle your business. Do you have a plan? See, because fellas, your women want to follow leaders, but you have to lead. If you're just standing there, they're going to look at you and they're like, okay, well, what are we doing? You have to lead. So you need to be about your business. You need to be about the Father's business. You need to map out a plan and share that vision with your family and stay the course. Let them know why they are backing you up and backing your play. It's not enough to say, oh, I'm me. I'm me. Follow me because I'm me. No. Give them a little bit more. Lead. Be about your business. And when they look at you, they're like, okay, yeah, you know what, my husband, yeah, he takes care of his business. Now they're proud to back you up and support you. Now they're proud of it. Be about your business. Because he said, see thou a man diligent in his business, he shall stand before kings, he shall not stand before mean men. Let's continue. We're still in Proverbs. Now go to Proverbs 24. Chapter 24. Still talking about preparing and getting things ready. So let's do it. Let's get it ready. Okay? Let's get it ready. So give me verse 20. I just want one verse. Give me verse 27 if you don't mind, please.
Prepare thy work without and make it fit for thyself in the field. And afterwards build thine house.
Okay, look at what he's saying. See, we have to do it the other way around for those who are out there who are prepping and say, hey, you know, I'm just going to buy some land. I'm going to start building on it and start doing my thing. But look at what it says. Prepare thy work without and make it fit for thyself in the field. So prepare the land, get it ready, get your water ready, get your power ready, get your gardens ready, get your fences ready. Start building all these things without, on the outside, and afterwards build thine house. Do we understand that? Makes sense? See, that I know that's counterintuitive right there. That's counterintuitive. What we do, we get a piece of land, first thing we do, bam, slap a house on it. That's what we commonly do. Now, if you don't have time, understand, you got to get out there right away. I understand. I get it. But if you have a little bit of time, start preparing without, so when you get there, everything is set up for you. Okay, here's my water, here's my gardens, you know, I got my fences ready, got everything ready to go. I got my storage ready, I'm ready to go. Okay, now, boom, time to build a house out there. Prepare though, you have to prepare, So you thought that this lesson, oh, don't worry about anything, you know, like the lilies of the field and all. Don't do it. No, you do. You do have to prepare. You do have to do something. Okay? Look at the ant. Look at what she does. Look at a man who is about his business. Look at what he does. He's going to stand before kings. So you have to do something. It's just that your focus and your purpose is different. That's all. You have different aim. You have a different aim. You have a different goal. You have a different why. So prepare thy work without, and make it fit for thyself in the field, and afterwards build thine house. And now we're going to go to Proverbs 12. Go to chapter 12. Chapter 12. We just want a couple of verses. Okay? When we get to chapter 12, pick it up at verse 11.
He that tilleth his land shall be satisfied with bread, but he that followeth vain persons is void of understanding.
Oh, look at what he's just said. Look at what he just read. He said, he that tilleth his land shall be satisfied with bread. Got to do something. But he that followeth vain persons is void of understanding. Read verse 12.
The wicked desireth the net of evil men, but the root of the righteous yieldeth fruit.
Okay, so this is what we're talking about. Getting yourself ready to go. He that tilleth his land shall be satisfied with bread, but he that followeth vain persons is void of understanding. The wicked desire the net of evil men, but the root of the righteous yielded fruit. And we are going to finish up in our last spot here. Let's go on over to Revelation 21. Why are we doing all of this? Well, we're gonna deal with that right now. Revelation 21. We're gonna pick it up at verse 1, chapter 21. So Revelation chapter 21, verse 1. And when you get there, let the Bible speak.
Revelation 21, verse 1.
Yes, sir.
And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea.
Yes.
And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of the heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
Yes. So look. Okay, let's notice something. We got to learn something on the way to learn something. I know it's our last spot, but we can't just, skip over anything. First, we notice that there's a heaven, a new heaven, and a new earth, because the first heaven and the first earth has passed away. Okay, and there's no more sea. And then he saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming from where? Down from God, out of heaven. Okay, go ahead.
And I heard a great voice out of heaven, saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people. And God himself shall be with them, and be their God. Interesting.
Okay, this is at the end, folks. This is after millennium reign and everything. This is way at the end. Go ahead.
And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain. The former things are passed away.
How does that sound good so far? So far so good. Go ahead.
And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true. For these words are true and faithful.
What else?
And he said unto me, It is done. I am Alpha and Omega, and the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. He that overcometh shall inherit all things. I will be his God, and he shall be my son.
Okay, he that overcometh. So you're gonna have to go through some things. You count the cost. You count the cost. He said, he that overcometh. That automatically means you're gonna have to go through something, right? Automatically, you got to overcome something. Period. You got to overcome something. So that means you're going to automatically go through something. So he said in verse 7, he said, he that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. Verse 8, go ahead.
But the fearful and unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. So
we already see, okay, so we see the people who are not going to make it, and that's just a short list. Go ahead.
And there came unto me one of the seven angels which had the seven vials full of the seven last plagues, and talked with me, saying, Come hither, I will show thee the bride and the Lamb's wife.
Come on.
And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of the heaven.
Coming out of heaven, from God.
Having the glory of God, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal.
Go ahead.
And had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gate and at the gates 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
Come on, so you got to get to one of those gates. Go ahead.
On the east 3 gates, on the north 3 gates, and on the south 3 gates, and on the west 3 gates.
Come on.
And the wall of the city and 12 foundations, and in all of them, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. And he that talked with me had a golden reed to measure the city, and the gates thereof, and the wall thereof.
Come on.
And the city lieth 4 and the length is as large as the breadth. And he measured the city in the reed with the reed 12,000 furlongs. The length and the breadth and the height of it were equal. And he measured the wall thereof and 144 cubits.
Okay, and a furlong is roughly 600 feet, guys. Go ahead.
According to the measure of a man, that is of the angel. And the building of the wall of it was of jasper, and the city was pure gold, like
and the cubit is about 18 inches. Go ahead.
And the foundations of the wall of the city were garnished with all manner of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, and the third a chalcedony, and the fourth an emerald. The fifth sardonyx, the sixth sardius, the seventh chrysolite, and the eighth beryl, and the ninth of topaz, the 10th chrysoprasus, the 11th a jacinth, the 12th an amethyst, and the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Every several gate was of 1 pearl, and the street of the city was pure gold, as it were transparent glass. So that's pure gold, like transparent glass. That's how shiny it really was. My precious, I almost feel like Smeagol right there, but go ahead. Go ahead. And I saw no temple therein, for the Lord God Almighty and the Lamb are the temple of it. And the city had no need of the sun, neither of the moon to shine in it. For the glory of God did lighten it, and the Lamb of the light is the light thereof. Now, a lot of people say, that kind of doesn't make sense to them or whatever, but I want you guys to think of something, okay? In the beginning, the Lord said, let there be light, and he created, he created the heavens and the earth and all that other stuff. And then he created the larger light, to govern the day, and the lesser light to govern the night and all that, right? And we use that to what? Measure times and seasons and weeks and years and months and stuff like that, right? So far, so good? Okay, now, when you go to a place of immortality, when you enter the realm of eternity, no more death, no more dying, there's no need for a clock. Do we understand that? There's no need for, like it says, and the city had no need of the sun, neither of the moon to shine in it, for the glory of God did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof. No need for it. Now you're talking about immortal stuff. Now you're talking about something that's infinite, that we're trying to cram in a finite mind and have a finite understanding of it. There's going to be a point where you exist outside of time. Does it make sense? Do I understand what I'm saying? You're going to exist outside of time, so there won't be really a need for the rising of the sun and the descending of the sun all the time. So I just wanted to point something out, and hopefully we can get a little bit of, a different perspective, because I've heard people say, well, I don't know, that doesn't make sense or whatever, because there is light thereof, there's the light thereof. It's like, oh, well, in the beginning when God said, let there be light, was it dark? Could he see? Well, right here it even says that the glory of God lightens it. He just made a sun so he don't have to light it all the time. Created it to govern it. It's kind of like, how when we count 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, or we could just put it on our stopwatch and let the stopwatch do it, right? Make sense? Okay, so that's all I'm saying. But I just wanted to address that momentarily there. But in 24, where it says, "And the nations of them which are saved," what? "Which are saved shall walk in the light of it, and the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it." Go ahead. "And the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day, for there shall be no night there." There be no night, always sunny. Always sunny. Go ahead. And they shall bring the glory and honor of the nations into it.
Go ahead.
And there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defileth.
Come on.
Neither whatsoever worketh abomination.
What else?
Or maketh a lie. But they which are written in the Lamb's book of life.
Only those who are written in the Lamb's book of life. That's it. That's all that makes it. Only those who are written in the Lamb's book of life. So when you're focusing on your life and what you should do, one of the things you should focus on, contemplate, is, am I written in the Lamb's book of life? I want to make sure my name is written there. I want to make sure my name is called. You know, the same book that, Moses said, blot my name out of. So there is a record, right? I mean, something's bearing record in heaven, right? Is it starting to line up for you? So something is there. So brothers and sisters, you know what? I'll just close with this. Please don't let someone knock you off course. Stay the course. Prepare yourself while you're here now. You know why you're doing it. You know what you need to do, and you know why you need to do it, and you know what you need to stay focused on. What is your true north? Set your mind on heavenly things. Seek first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added unto you. I hope someone has been edified. So until next time, search the scriptures and prove all things. Shalom, peace, Israel.